if you ask me, okay, if you are to ask me name one feature from my library, okay, that is the most important one, okay, in the entire library, I would say AssetTree Traversal probably is the #1 feature in the entire library. You may not see it just yet, okay, but by the end of today's meeting, I hope you see that. So let me tell you the big picture first, okay? What it does for you. Eric, last time you asked me what that folder ID is. Remember, you asked me the orphan report. You asked me what that folder ID. Okay. Hopefully, I'll answer your question in just a few minutes. Okay. Okay. When you look at Cascade, there are two major types of assets. One is contained assets, meaning an asset existing in some container. The contained the non-contained assets, okay, they don't exist in any containers. Things like site, you can't find a site inside a container, okay? A site must exist independently, okay? Site, group, user, role, probably a few more. They don't exist in a container. They just exist somewhere in the system. And when you retrieve them or when you create them, you don't put them into containers and you don't find them in containers. Okay. Otherwise, for example, a page. When you create a page, okay, you must put a page inside a folder. You cannot just say, okay, create a page somewhere. Okay, you have to give me the parent folder. So a page must always be contained inside a folder. Okay, and when you talk about blocks, formats, templates, the majority of them, okay, they are always found in a container, even including, okay, the metadata set, data definition, and so on. They are all contained. Okay. So first, I want to draw the distinction between contained and non-contained. Okay. Now, when you look at contained assets like pages, metadata sets, data definitions, or asset factories, you have to go to the container first and then find whatever you are trying to find. So you start with the container. For example, if you want to look for a page, okay, right folder, the parent folder of the page, okay, to find it. Okay, is it clear so far?
Yeah.
Okay, now the other way around, okay, when you start with a container, then you can look inside to see what can be found inside. So what is contained in that container? So we are talking about basically two sides of the same coin, okay? When you're looking for a contained object, you must find the container first. But if you look at a container, then you can see whatever contained inside. Now, besides, I want to put folder aside first, okay? Let us just talk about metadata set, asset factories, and so on. They are contained in a unique type of container in the sense that asset factory, plural, asset factories can only be found in asset factory container. You cannot find them anywhere else. So given a type of so-called components, okay, Haddon Hill call them components. I'm talking about anything under the administration menu, okay, so asset factory, content type, configuration sets, data definitions, and so on. These are whatever container you find and whatever contained inside must match. So like a metadata set container can only contain metadata set. You cannot put a data definition in the metadata set container, for example. You cannot do that. So from the child, basically you can tell, okay, the type of the parent if it is under the administration menu. Let's say if I give you, okay, where can you find asset factories? Well, the answer is straightforward enough, okay? Must be asset factory container. Where can you find metadata sets? Well, they must exist, okay, in metadata set containers. How about content types? Well, they must be found, okay, in content type containers. Okay, so that's like one matching from children to the container. Okay, if you're talking about those components under administration. Well, of course, folder is always an exception. So inside a folder, you can find like references, symlinks, pages, folders, blocks, formats, templates, and so on and so forth. So folder is the only odd member among the containers. Otherwise, I mean, whenever you're given like a container, you can tell what you can find inside. Given, for example, a metadata set container, for sure, either it's empty or you can find metadata sets or another metadata set container. Okay, so far so good?
Yeah.
Now, given any container, use the container as the starting point and you look inside and see what children you can find. Either some children of fixed type, okay, if we are talking about components, or if we are talking about folders, then you can find whatever that can exist in folders. Or you can have containers of the same type. So within a folder, you can find folders. Within a metadata set container, you can find metadata set containers. Within a content type container, you can find content type container or containers. Okay, so far so good. Now, the AssetTree class, okay, is a class, okay, in the library called AssetTree. This class is actually a very small class. In a second, we can like look at the code and just like to understand what is going on. But when you look at the AssetTree class, okay, it provides one single important method for you, okay, to deal with containers, the traverse method. So just to understand what we can do with a container, okay, just imagine, okay, we're talking about an AssetTree here. And the root is the starting point, okay, whatever container you're working with. Let's say, okay, focus on a folder. So we can like pick any folder in a site. It can be the base folder, any base folder of any site, or it can be any subfolder inside the base folder. You pick a folder, okay? You treat that as the starting point, okay, or the root of a tree. And you go inside and you visit all the children in this folder. And whenever you see another like child, which is a folder, okay, of the same type, you recursively visit everything inside. So basically, we are visiting everything inside this container. This is called tree traversal. Okay. Now, Eric, just to answer your question, the folder ID is the ID of the container, which is the starting point of your traversal. So whatever you want to do, okay, with a folder, you need to like pick a folder and then you start like from that folder. You create an AssetTree out of this folder and then you call the traverse method and basically like tell the program, okay, visit every child in this folder.
Okay, I get it.
Okay, so when you are dealing with folders, you can pick any folder in a site. And then you basically like write your traverse method, well, not the traverse method, but the global function, and call the traverse method. And everything inside this folder will be like visited in turn. Well, the sequence is this, okay? First, you look at the folder, and then there's like a folder like order, okay? Well, I'm talking about alphabetical order in the folder. And then if you see a subfolder inside the folder, you recursively, okay, visit the subfolder first. So this is called depth first search. So basically you like go all the way down to the end, okay, go all the way to the deepest structure of any subfolder, and then you work your way back to the root level. This is called depth first search. But it doesn't matter. The whole thing is, I mean, everyone inside will be visited somehow in some order. And you don't care about the order, okay? That's the crucial thing. You don't care about the order. Just visit everybody.
A question, is there any way to control the order?
Nope. Because it depends on basically the alphabetical order. So if you look at an AssetTree, okay, you look at it, whatever you are like looking at from top down, okay, whenever you see a non-container, you visit those say, things in sequence. Whenever you see a folder, you drill down, and then you do everything from top down. Whenever you see another subfolder, you drill down, and when you're done, you go back up. So there's no way to control the order, and there's no point controlling the order. I mean, normally when we traverse a tree, we just say, okay, visit everybody. I don't care like in what sequence.
You put that in the business logic too at a later point.
You mean in the library? To
On my
control the
own,
order?
not in the library separately.
Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah.
Sure, you can. But it's quite hard to control the order. I mean, first, how do you specify the order in the first place? Remember, you don't know anything about the clients.
Well, yeah, you'd have to apply it to every single folder would have to be ordered the same way, unless you.
You try it. Okay, I want to see the end result. Okay, that will be interesting to know. Okay, how you implement it. But my library doesn't deal with order. Okay, I just guarantee. Okay, everything is visited somehow.
Right.
Okay.
Is there a way to stop like at a level?
Sure.
In the parameters.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's the second part, okay? I want to deal with the first part first.
Oh, okay.
So just to make sure everybody understands what tree traversal is or what it's all about, okay? It's very simple. You start with the root container. It can be any root container, okay? So it can be a folder. It can be a metadata set container. It can be a content type container, whatever. You specify, okay, the starting point. You create an asset tree. And then you call traverse. Then everybody will revisit it somehow. Okay? Any questions about that?
Can you? Can you? I do have the questions for the traversal. Does it provide back an array? Is that the results?
Okay.
Thing?
That's the second part. I will come to this. I promise, okay? I just want to make sure everybody understands what tree traversal is.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay. Then that's the major hurdle we have just overcome, okay? Once we understand, okay, what tree traversal is, then everything is your business, not mine. Okay?
So essentially you provide users a way to traverse or to search through Cascade with those constraints that you just mentioned, that you have to provide a base container or a root container.
Yep.
And then the other constraints.
Yep.
And then it's up to us what we do with the results.
Okay. Now your part. Let me bring up the code, okay, of the AssetTree first, and then I'll go over the code quickly so that we know what we are talking about, okay? So let me just share the screen, and I want to bring up the code of well, it's on GitHub, so I don't have to go through. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. AssetTree. Okay. AssetTree is a relatively small class. Okay. Well, 234 lines. Okay. Not much. And we would like pick up other like minor methods in later. But I just want to look at this part. Okay. So you can also go to GitHub if you want to. I'm talking about line 125 onward. Okay, let me just go over the code quickly. Okay, first I get the service object. Well, this is the object passed around in my library. Okay, this part is about how come it jumps when I click it. Okay. Okay, this part is about skipping the root container. For example, if you are doing something to folders or one type of containers, you can skip the root container. Okay, meaning for example, if you want to associate a metadata set with folders, but you don't want to do it with the root folder, then you can pass this in. Okay, just skip the root folder. Otherwise, I mean, everything will be applied, including the root folder. And down here, okay, is very simple. Just visit every child, okay, in this folder. Now, the important part is like line 152 and line 157. 152 is easy because we are talking about a container within a container. So we do the recursion. Okay, so let's say when we are traversing a folder, then whenever we see a folder inside, we just like call the child traverse by passing in whatever parameters passed to the parent. Otherwise, okay, we apply whatever functions, okay, to the children, well, non-container children. So this function is extremely simple, okay? Look inside a container and basically, okay, visit every child. If it is a container of the same type, recursively visit it. If it is not a container, then apply function to this child. Okay. Now apply functions to child. Okay. Basically, okay, I won't walk through the code. Okay, it's not that long. You can read it yourself. Basically, it does this. When you call traverse, you will pass in some functions, and those functions will be applied to children of a certain type. Whenever that, I mean, children of that type is encountered. Okay. Well, I'll give you the details in a second. Okay. But let me just go back to the signature of this function traverse. Okay. The signature is this. You're supposed to give me a function array, and then you can optionally give me a params, okay, which is an array. Third, okay, you can also pass in an array for results. But notice, okay, the third array is passed in by reference. Okay, that's important.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm backing out. Okay. Okay, let me just like tell you what is going on. Okay, basically is this: when you traverse a tree, let's focus on folders. Okay, but you can apply the same principle to metadata sets, AssetTrees, whatever. Okay, so let us focus on a folder. When you traverse a folder, you can basically first you need to decide. Okay, what do you want to do with the children inside the folder? Okay, that's the first question. For example, do you want to do something to pages? Do you want to do something to folders? Do you want to do something to blocks? Or are you like dealing with templates? You have to decide first, okay, what kind of children you want to like tackle right now. But remember, you can do something to each type of children. You can do that in one traversal. So let's say if I want to do something to folders, I also want to do something to blocks, I want to do something to pages, okay? Let's say 3 types of assets, okay? Folders, blocks, and pages. I want to do something to each one of them. Well, in the first array, okay, let me just like start writing code. Let me just share the screen again. Can you see my screen?
See you.
Oh, you can see me, but not the code.
Nope.
Come on, give me the share. Come on, come on. Okay.
I see it now.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, I'll blow up the font size. Okay, I'm going to traverse a folder, okay, and then show you the result. So this will be the window. Let us just like pick let us pick a folder, okay? Any folder will do. Come on. So I'm going to retrieve the folder.
Where is it?
Right now, I just want to dump the folder, okay, to make sure I'm retrieving it. So let us just run the program and make sure, okay? So I'm reading the folder right now. Now, with a container defined, okay, I can do something like this. Well, I go to the next line. So you can call the get AssetTree method. Right now, I'm not doing anything, okay? I'm just like getting the tree, and I'll dump the tree, okay? So you can see the tree first. So you debug utility. I'm dumping the tree itself, okay?
Wing is get asset tree a method in the asset tree class, or?
No, it's a method defined in a container class.
Oh, okay.
Any
Was it
container.
parent of that?
Say that again.
Oh, is that like a parent class or an extended
Okay, let me just show you
implemented class? I don't know the
yeah.
terminology.
Okay, if you look at, for example, folder, the parent of folder is container,
Right.
and
Inherited.
get as a tree is right here. So
Yeah.
it's defined in container.
Inherited class. That's what I meant.
Any other questions before I move on? Okay, now I'm dumping the AssetTree. Okay, I hope to see the, well, it's right here. So the AssetTree is like output like this. Okay, of course, I mean it's just uh, a mess of code. Okay, okay. Now, I want to like give you examples of the first argument. Okay, pass into the AssetTree. So I'm going to remove the dump, and I'll work on the AssetTree. Okay, so it's traverse. Right now, I leave it empty, okay, because I need to work with the first argument. Now, let's say, okay, well, as I told you a moment ago, when you start traversing a tree, okay, the first questions you always ask is, what type of assets I want to deal with, okay? So let's say I want to look at three things, okay, blocks, pages, and folders. Well, because I don't put blocks, okay, everywhere. So I won't be able to see blocks here, okay, just pages, okay? If I need to see everything, I have to start with the base folder. But I don't want to like return a huge tree, okay? So I just like, want to like look at a small folder first, and then we'll like look at a larger folder later. So let's say right now we only have like pages, okay, in this folder. So it's pointless to talk about like data definition blocks and so on. So let us focus on pages, okay? Now, the first argument you need to pass into traverse is this. It must be an array. Okay, that's the first thing you need to know.
Wang, I'm not seeing your code.
Oh, you're not seeing my code?
No,
Am I
I'm just
sharing?
getting a voice. It's not even a screen share.
I
Okay,
can
let's.
I can see it.
I can see it too. I think it might be. Yeah, I can see it.
I'm special.
So, everybody's seeing the screen?
I see the
That's
code.
better.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll move on. Okay, the first argument, well, actually, all three arguments are arrays, okay, but I'm focusing on the first one. The first one, okay, must be an array. And then you need to tell me, okay, what kind of assets you want to do something to. So let's say, okay, right now I want to do something to pages, okay? Oh, come on. Okay, so I want to do something with pages. Now, the second question is, okay, what do you want to do to pages?
Mhm.
Okay, so the first question is, okay, what type of assets? Second question is, what to them? So this will take another array, okay? Now, this array is actually an array of function names. So you can plug in any valid function names, and they'll be called whenever a page is encountered. And this page will be passed into this function. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
let me just try something simple, okay? Before I move, like do something with this array, okay? Let me write a function. So I'll make up something, okay? Function, my function, okay? This function must have a certain kind of signature, okay? So you need to pass in something into this function to make this whole thing work. So let me just copy something from GitHub. Where can I find code? So let me just go to examples and then online tutorials 05 and well, this will do. So let me just copy. Oh, there's no global function here. Sorry. So I'm looking for a global function. Report. No global function either. I'm sorry. I'm looking for global functions. Well. Okay, let me just go to global function directly. Then I can copy something. Okay, so I'm going to copy this part and throw it into my function. Okay, I'll explain everything in a second. Okay, I just want to show you. Whoops, what did I do? Just want to show you like what is going on. Okay, so let's say in this function, okay, I don't do anything other than doing this. Okay, so echo child get.
Wayne, you
Yep.
you're muted. Okay.
Say it again.
You were muted, so we didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I didn't do anything with my mic. So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello? Any feedback? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, okay, great. I think it's just a network. Okay, now I have a function, okay? It's very simple. If you look at the parameters of this function, okay, first I will pass in the service object, and then I'll see the child object, and then the param and the results. We are not looking at the params and the results, so ignore them for the moment. So I'm using the child and print out something, okay, of the child. Okay, that's all. Now I'm going to put this function name, okay, in here. String. So basically, I'm saying this, okay? Traverse the folder, and when you see a page asset, apply my function to the page. Does it make sense?
Does it have to have the those particular parameters?
Which do you mean by those?
The ones
You mean this
that you
part?
have, the ones that
You
you
mean this
have in
part?
my function.
Yes, you have to do exactly 4 and those 4.
And okay. Okay.
Okay, because traverse requires, okay, to make it work, you have to agree on something, okay? Otherwise, I mean, there's nothing for me to do with your children. If you want me to do something to your children, we must agree on something, okay? You need to give me the child, the service object, and some other things, okay, to make it work. So you
Don't
have
take
to
this conversation out of context.
Okay, so
One more question, can I ask?
Yep.
Sorry, I have lots of questions today. Can you use anonymous functions?
anonymous, you can plug the whole thing here, but then I mean, no, I take it back. No, because I require you to like give me like, well, the reason being this, okay, you can actually apply more than one function to pages. So
Great.
I don't deal with like anonymous functions. If you insist, I might be able to change my library to do that. But
No,
the
it's
whole
okay.
point is, I mean, you can apply a sequence of functions to pages. Then you
Yeah.
can give me, that's why I require an array here. So you can like give me all the names of the functions you want to apply to pages in that sequence.
Okay.
Okay, let me just remove this and let's run the program. Okay, let's see. Okay. Now let me just show you the folder again. Okay, so we have 3 pages here, and I'm just printing out the path of each page. Okay. Any questions so far? Not much yet. Okay, we're just like printing out the path of each page.
One question, Wing. Can you go
Yep.
back to the code?
Yep, sure.
It's actually a follow-up from Chris's question. The second parameter to the my function, it's is that the child? What class is that?
Child is a property class created by my library, but you don't see the child here because it's already like taken care of and created underlinely when you start traversing the tree. A child is basically an identifier.
Okay.
Okay. If you are interested, well, I plan to talk about child later, probably near 4 o'clock. But if you are interested, let me just like bring it up so that you can see it. Child is right here. Okay. Identifier is just a subclass, an anti-subclass of child. Now, a child class, okay, contains not much, okay, just the ID, the path, the type, and recycle. And normally we don't deal with recycled, okay. Path is actually an object, okay, wrapping up the site information and the path information. So this is a path object, okay. That's why I call get path, okay. The first path is just an object, and then this second path is a path property of the path object.
Okay.
Okay. The reason why I deal with like identifiers in this way is this. When you traverse a large tree, you will like deal with every asset, okay, in turn. But I don't want to load every asset, okay, into memory unless it's necessary. So instead of, for example, when you're traversing a whole site, okay, consisting of like thousands of pages, you don't want to load, okay, every page, okay, in turn. That will take forever. You don't want to do that. Instead, I just like read the ID of every page. And if you need to access each page, okay, then you need to load the page. But by default, I don't load anything except the ID. That will like quicken everything so that you don't need to like sit there and wait forever.
Gotcha. So that the child class is just a data structure that you created to facilitate.
To store identification information.
Gotcha.
Basically, the ID, the path, the site name. That's about it.
Okay. Okay. That's a good. That's enough behind the scenes that I understand what.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this child is just that identifier. Okay. Now to make this function more interesting, we can start doing something. Okay. Let us just like start doing something a bit more interesting. Okay. So instead of like getting path, okay, we can do something like this. Okay. Get asset. I'm loading the page now. Okay. So I need to pass in the service object. Okay. So let us look at child again. Get asset is right here. So you need to pass in the service object to get the asset. First, then the service object. That's why the first parameter is passed in the first place. Okay, so this part is actually a page object. Any questions about this one? Okay, if no question, then I just want to do something simple, okay? That's it. I call edit. What does it do? It touches every page. So the only thing it does is to update the last modified day. Do you follow?
Wing, I think you broke up for me. Could you repeat?
Okay, okay. I'll say that again, okay? The code, okay, does this. Well, I read it first. Child, and then get asset, you pass in the service object. The last part I call edit. So basically, I edit every page in that folder without doing anything real, okay? I'm just like, okay, load the page and then edit it. So the last modified date will be modified. Well, will be updated. Is it clear what I'm trying to do?
Yes. Can I ask a quick question though?
Sure.
So not really related to this, but can you modify the comments of an asset?
You can modify anything you want.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that's the whole point. Remember, this part is a page object. Well, from the top, okay, because we are applying this function only to pages, okay? So this part is in fact a page. Remember, once you get a page object, you can do anything that my library allows you to do with a page. Anything.
Okay, I wasn't sure if web services allowed access to the comment field. Okay.
Okay. Tell me more about what comment field are you talking about?
You know at the bottom when you hit submit, you can like it appears next to the versions.
Oh, is it related to workflow?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, then that part probably is not open to web services.
Okay. I didn't think
But
it was.
if you're talking about workflow, then of course, the workflow comments is open to web services. But if you're talking about just editing, I don't think so, because web services doesn't allow you to update any comments.
I've asked about that in the past from the Cascade builders, and they've said that you can't. Web services doesn't allow you to put a
Exactly.
comment.
Exactly. I've never seen anything related to comments except in the context of workflows.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Now I want to repeat one more time. Okay. This is just a page object. Okay. So whatever you can do to a page, then you can do it here. For example, Eric, you can use this to switch content type.
Cool.
Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yes.
So you can actually traverse an entire site and use this to convert every page, associating every page with a new content type, for example.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm just saying, okay, right now I'm doing something really stupid, something really simple, but whatever you can do to a page, you can do it right here. So right now, just
I was going to say it's simple, but it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
it's extremely powerful. That's the whole point. Okay, let me just like run the program and to show you, okay, what exactly is going on. Because I'm editing 3 pages, okay, it will take about like 10 seconds or so. Oh, there's something wrong. Object of page could not be converted to string. Am I converted to a string? Get asset. 1 second. Why does it complain about a string?
It's because you're echoing that.
Oh, sure. Thank you. I didn't notice.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, sure. Okay. Now, if we look at the pages again, look at the timestamps. They're all updated.
Nice. Nice.
Now, actually, I can do this to cheat, okay? I can update every page in a site so that all the timestamps are updated so that you won't see like stale content. Okay? No big deal, okay? Now, let's say if I want to do something, okay, besides my function, okay? Well, let me just change the name, okay, so that it makes more sense, okay? Let me call this edit page, okay? So I'm editing every page. And I want to write a second function, okay? And I'll call it publish page, okay? And this one is even easier, okay? So I don't even need to get asset. Remember, when you publish a page, you don't need to load the page. Okay, you just tell Cascade publish the page. Okay, even like without knowing what's inside the page, you don't need to. You just want to publish it. Okay, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, now let me just do the publish, and then I'll use the child the other way around. Okay, and I'm calling to std. Okay, class. I'll talk about this method more, like give you more details next time. But just like bear with me, okay? I'm calling to std class, okay, through the child object. Let me just show you the API again. To std class, okay, will return the std class object from whatever object in my library, if it is a property class. It's basically something that is understandable by Cascade, okay? You cannot just like pass in an object of wings object and send it to Cascade. It won't work. You have to turn everything back to std. Okay, so I'm calling to std to turn my child class, okay, back to an std class object and pass it into publish. Okay, now assuming that works, okay, I'm not sure, I need to test, okay, but assuming that's the case, I can pass in the second function name in the traverse method. So basically I'm saying this, okay, well, look at all the children. If it is a page, then first apply the edit page function. Second, apply publish page function in this sequence. Okay, so edit page you can do whatever you need to. Okay, just like change something, maybe changing the president's name, do something like that. Once you're done, publish it. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, now let's try that. I hope there's no bug in the second method. Let's look at this. And we are publishing.
Pretty neat.
Okay. So let's check the timestamps again. 308. Okay, just a moment ago. And remember, I did two things at the same time. So remember, these functions, okay, you can write them any way you want, as long as you pay attention to the rules. Okay, you have to pass in 4 parameters. The third and the fourth can be null, but the first and the second already are taken care of by my traverse. Okay, you just need to specify, okay, what type of assets you want to deal with, what to do with them. Okay.
Okay.
Now let me repeat again. Okay, you can write any code inside any function. It's your business, as I said. So once you get a page, once you get a blog, once you get a folder, you can do whatever you need to inside that function.
Interesting.
Okay. Now let's say I want to traverse the larger folder, okay, with more things inside, so that we can see exactly what is going on. For example, let us traverse this Cascade folder, okay, because there are many things inside. So let me just change the folder ID. There won't be pages inside, okay? Instead, I can see folders, I can see blocks, I can see mostly blocks. Pages too. These are like pages already obsolete. So, okay. So let's say I just want to write another function, okay, to show you exactly what is going on. So again, I just want to print out the path, okay, of those assets. So I'll just say print path. Okay, no more than that. And here I will say echo the and then get path. Okay, we saw this part a moment ago. I want to BR. So this print path, okay, does no more than just printing out the path of any asset. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. Now I'm going to call this print path, okay, for pages. instead of like editing anything, okay? But remember, I can also do things to other types of assets. So let's say, okay, I want to do, for example, something to data blocks, okay? But data block is a shortcut for like data definition blocks. So I can do something like this, okay? So this function, well, this traverse, okay, right now does this. Whenever you see a page, print out the path. Whenever you see a data definition, print out the path. But do nothing else, okay? Don't do anything to files, don't do anything to folders. Ignore them, basically.
Okay.
Okay? So let's try that. Okay? So you see, well, paths of like pages, blocks, and so on and so forth. But that's it. If you want to like find out what is what, okay, you can also do something a little bit more. Inside the child class, remember you have the path, and then you have the type. So we can also do something like this. So let's get type, okay? So we echo the type as well as the path. So get type, and then we want to output a space, and then we output the path. Okay? So if we run the program, then we can tell, okay, what is what. So these are blocks, you can tell. These are pages, okay, you can tell.
That's neat.
So I'm trying to tell you this, okay? Inside the first argument, okay, you're supposed to give me an array. And in this array, you can specify what assets or what type of assets, okay, you want to like do something to. And then you specify, okay, what kind of function or functions to each type. They don't have to be the same thing. For example, page, okay, you can say, okay, plug in edit page and plug in publish page. But for data block, you just plug in print path. Mix and match them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Any questions about the first argument? So you can go on and on, okay? For example, you can do something to data definition blocks, and then you can also do something to, for example, templates. I don't know why you want to do that, okay, but you can. So you can do something like this. You want to.
Mm-hmm.
So in one traversal, you can do something to any type of assets in any way you want, as long as you like specify the type, specify what kind of function you want to apply to that type.
That's neat.
Okay. Any questions about the first argument? Okay, the second argument. The second argument is parameters. Again, if you want to pass in something, it should be an array. But however you want to write it, okay, it's your business. I don't care. You pass this array into this, all these functions, okay? Well, as long as the type matches, okay? So if you like call page, okay, and then you pass in print path, then in print path, okay, you will see this second argument if you like look at pages. If you look at like data block, okay, you don't, well, it depends, okay? Okay, let me just like give you something first, okay? Let's say a good example would be something like this. I want to associate pages, okay, for example, new pages, okay, with a metadata set. I also want to like associate data definition block with a second metadata set. Let's say, okay, let's just like make it simple. Pages with one metadata set, data definition block with another metadata set. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let us like write another function, okay? Associate with metadata set, let's say. So let's say associate with metadata set, okay? Just make it short. So I'm going to like remove this line, and I'm going to remove those function names. I just want to call the last one, okay? So associate with MS. If I do this, this function will kick off. Okay, so let us just like prove it. Well, we'll use the same code. Okay, so print path and then print the type. Okay, right now it doesn't do anything other than just like outputting the path and so on. Well, we should see exactly the same result. Okay. Now, here, you should specify, okay? Well, again, this is your code, okay? You write whatever code you want to in whatever way, but this is the recommended way, okay? So I want to apply metadata set to pages and to data block. So I would like to do this, okay? For pages, I want to pass in one metadata set. So this will be something like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. Let me just do this, okay? Cascade, get asset. And then I need to, of course, okay, get the metadata set, okay? Metadata set type. And then you need of the metadata set ID, okay? So this will basically like store, okay, the metadata set the metadata set object in this array, okay, associated with pages. Okay, then we can like retrieve another metadata set for data definition blocks. So we can do something like this, and then retrieve another metadata set. Of course, you need to plug in IDs here. Okay. Well, why don't we do something real? So let us just go to common assets and then metadata set. So blocks, I want to use this one. And, oh, the other way around. Block should be this one. Pages should be this one. Okay, so in the array, okay, I'm passing in two metadata set objects, one associated with the page type, the other associated with the block type. Okay? Now, down here in this function, you can retrieve those two metadata set objects. Okay? So this will actually store those two objects. But remember, you are passing in an array, okay? So this params, okay, is an array from type to metadata set object. So let's say, okay, I want to just get the page metadata set, okay, page ms, okay, assign ms. This is parameter array, but remember, okay, you pass in type, okay, mapping to ms. So you need to pass in the type. So this is a page. So a. Right now, I just want to dump it, okay? Remember, I'm visiting a lot of pages, okay? So this will be dumped several times, okay? Any questions about this before I run the program?
No, run it.
Okay. It will be a huge output, okay, because there are so many pages. Each one will dump the metadata set, okay, once. What? This is not what? Using this when 1392. Oh, there's a bug. Okay. 1392.
The second one's supposed to have arrays. Can you have online 20 something 20? Yeah, right there. Aren't those supposed to be wrapped in arrays?
Let me see. It can be an array, but it doesn't have to be.
Oh, okay.
Wait there. Let me just see. Let me, okay. Why does it throw an exception? Cascade.
I don't remember.
Oh, wait. I should type arrows. That's why. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Typos. Okay. That answers the question. Okay. Let me scan through the code again. Okay. Let me run it again. Fortunately, this is not a bug. Okay, so you see a huge output, okay, because every page will output the same metadata set object. Okay, you can tell. Okay, this is the ID of the metadata set object, 5F452. Okay, then the previous one. Okay, 5F452. So we are repeating the same information for every page. But remember, I'm just outputting the metadata set right here, okay? So if you really want to do something interesting, okay, we'll do something like this instead. I will go into the details in a second, okay? But right now, assuming we are dealing with pages, okay? So first, I need to get the type of the file to make sure, okay, I'm doing the right thing. So the type is the child, okay? Get type. Now I want to make sure, okay, I only apply, okay, this metadata set to pages only. I'm not dealing with data definition block just yet, okay? So I probably need this line as well. So look at the type. If the type, okay, is page, then apply the metadata set to the page. So if the type is the page, and, well, I'll use curly brackets. And, okay, first get the page. So service, no child, get asset, okay, and then you pass in the service object. Remember, this will be a page object. And this whole thing is a page object. Now, I want to set the metadata set. Metadata set. And I want to plug this into this. Okay? And because metadata set is a definition, so I don't need to call edit. Well, that's it. If I run the code, okay, every page will be associated with this metadata set. Now, what if a block? What if it is a block? Okay, then we need to like go further. Okay, else, okay, if the type is data definition block, let's say, okay, then of course, okay, we can apply the second metadata to it. Okay, so we can have like data. Of course, I need to retrieve. Okay, I didn't do that. So type equal this and do something. Okay, I can like copy this and then paste it in and change it to block ms. Of course, I need to retrieve this. Okay, oops. So I need to like retrieve the block ms up here.
Wing, quick question.
Yeah.
If the pages have a different metadata set associated with them, will you be, in fact, creating phantom nodes?
Nope. For metadata sets, no phantom nodes are possible. But if you are switching data definition, the answer is yes, a definite yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay, I'm going to remove the dump, okay? I don't want to dump anything. And I don't want to run the code, okay? Because, I mean, it would like change everything. So I just want you like to understand, okay? In this function, you can retrieve anything from the params array. Remember, it depends on how you set it up. A moment ago, Chris asked me, okay, should I like wrap it up into an array? Sure, if you want to. For example, if you do this, okay, let's say if you do this, do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do this, let's say, okay, I need to see the end of the line. Again, this is your code. So in order to retrieve this, okay, you need to go through the array.
No.
Okay, then down here, you have to go through the array somehow.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what I meant. It's your business. You decide how you want to set up this part so that you can retrieve the parameters. You can do it any way you want. As long as you do it in a consistent way, when you plug it in, you do it in one way, you retrieve it in the same way.
Makes
You
sense.
can wrap up anything any way you want. As long as it makes sense, okay? You wrap it up inside A, then you retrieve it inside A. If you don't wrap it up in anything, you can directly retrieve it. So you decide how you want to like wrap up the parameters.
Interesting.
Now, I believe a moment ago someone asked, okay, can I, for example, skip something? Of course you can. So let's say, okay, I can like add some more, okay? I can do something like this actually. So skip, okay? No, I don't want the square brackets. Skip some folders, for example, okay? So let me just do something like this, okay? For example, I can plug in a folder name. For example, skip the entire Cascade folder. For example, okay. Also skip the entire extra folder. Okay. Of course, okay. When you do this, okay, you have to say something down here. Okay. So you need to like retrieve, okay, the skip. So skip, okay, assign the parameter, okay, and then you plug in the key. Again, however you set it up, you use it like this, okay, depending on how you set it up. So if you set it up this way, then you need to retrieve it down here like this. Then you, of course, you need to check, okay, whether the skip, okay, because it's an array, okay, so you need to check, okay, whether the folder name is in the array. Then that folder will be skipped. Does it make sense?
Hmm?
So you don't have to pass an asset type as the key. You can pass anything.
You can plug in anything you want. That's the whole point. This parameter, you can set it up any way you want.
Okay. That's good to know.
But because, okay, in one traversal, normally you may want to like deal with several things at the same time. Then of course you need to like plug in type information. But if you say, okay, I only have one thing to do, switch the content type for all pages. Of course you don't need to worry about, okay, the asset type. It must be pages. Okay, as long as you like specify it here. Okay, only apply the function to pages. Then down here, okay, I would recommend this. Always retrieve the page with the type, and then you do something like this, okay? If this function is to be applied to pages only, okay, then you can say, okay, something like this. If, okay, type doesn't equal pages, okay, then return. Meaning you skip everything else, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Return. Don't do anything. If you are applying this function to two types, then of course, okay, you need to say further, okay, if the page is not the type is not page, or the type is not folders, for example, okay, then return. So you're applying this function only to pages and folders, and don't do anything to any other types of assets.
Can you do the same thing if something goes wrong, let's say in the order of the first parameter? Because
Sure, you can
like,
have try, catch, whatever inside here.
oh no, for like the first section, I'm going back to the first argument.
Oh, okay.
Because let's say you have two arguments or two functions listed in the array in the first argument, and something goes wrong in the first one. But the second one is dependent on what happens in the first one. How do you handle that?
Okay. In the traverse method, I will throw an exception, no such function, if the function doesn't exist.
And then stop.
You will see an exception.
And then just have it return nothing.
It will throw an exception. You're supposed to catch it.
Okay.
Well, because you asked me something impossible, I cannot proceed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless you do something, okay. No, actually, there's no way out because you just plug in a string. If that function doesn't exist, there's nothing I can do. Well, unless you have something meaningful to suggest, like if the function doesn't exist, what next?
Yeah.
Interesting. I see Chris's point, but I also see Wing's point.
Well, remember,
I've been getting that a lot lately.
I provide you a very simple mechanism, but this simple mechanism is so powerful, you have full control.
Yeah.
You decide what to do.
Yeah, I guess that's my question is how do I do it?
I don't know. That's the point. I don't know.
Yeah. If I hit that point at which something breaks in the first function, can I stop everything at that point and not
Well,
run the other three?
Chris, remember the function must be defined somewhere.
Right.
You can't just like run code and assume the function exists. You can't do that. It must be defined somewhere. If you test your code, okay, you will see it very soon if it doesn't exist. Because the function is not supplied to you by a user. You have full control of whatever functions you want to use.
Okay.
So I don't see why we need to worry about that. Right?
I guess I might be missing. I'm missing something.
Well, if you can come up with something interesting, let me know. Okay,
Yeah,
I'd love
I
to
will.
see that.
I'll try
Okay,
to.
okay. Now, okay, let me repeat. The first argument, you need to like pass in whatever function you want to apply, okay, to whatever type. That is a given, okay. You have to do it this way, okay. You have no choice. So you have to give me an array mapping types to an array of method names, okay. There can be only one, but you can have multiple of them. This part is given, okay. You cannot change anything here. Okay, type to array, and inside the array you give me strings, method names. But the second parameter, you can set it up any way you want. As long as you have an agreement between this part and down here, however you retrieve your parameters. It's your business. You set it up any way you want. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the third part, the results. Well, if you want results, okay, then you need to declare the array first, okay? So you have like results, array. Then you can pass this in, okay, as the third. So you can pass it in like this. Again, however you use it, okay, it's your business. Remember, you pass in the array. And down here, okay, this array, okay, is right here. You can store anything inside in any way you want. So, for example, you can, let's say, okay, if you are looking for like orphans, okay, in the orphan report, well, you can like store orphan paths, okay, in this array. How you want to store them, I don't care. You can start with the type, and then an array, okay, and like containing all the IDs. If you're sure, okay, it only contains, okay, pages, okay, then you can even like skip the type. You start like plugging in IDs of pages. Again, however you set it up is your business. I don't care. But remember, whatever you do, okay, when you are up here again, you need to access the result. You need to like do it with however you set it up. For example, if down here, okay, in the array, okay, let's say if you set it up this way, okay, let's say, okay, I just want to make sure I save some time because it's already past 3:30. So let's say, okay, if I do something like this, okay, if something goes wrong, I just like plug in the ID, okay. I'm like writing shortcut code, okay. So let's say, okay, if I do something like this. Okay, so I'm just checking, okay, something wrong with some pages. If it's wrong, then I'll just like plug the ID into this array, okay? But this array is associated with the page key, okay? Then up here, when I use this array, okay, I have to access the result, okay, by doing this, okay? So however you set it up down here, you need to access the data in the same way up here. Again, it's your decision how you set it up and how you access the result. Does it make sense?
Yes, Wing, are you, can you provide, or do you have this example in your GitHub repository?
Sure. It's called global functions. Okay, let me go there. This is the file you want to look at. I provided you with several functions that you can actually reuse. But if you want to write your own functions, then you use these as like examples.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, I told you again and again, okay, however you write these functions, okay, it's your business. I don't care. So if you set it up in one way, you need to like use it consistently when you like look at the result or whatever. For example, okay, the asset tree count, okay, I suggest this, okay, whenever you're writing global functions, I suggest, okay, using asset tree as like kind of like a pseudo namespace so that it won't clash with anything else.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I consistently use that as a tree something, and normally I will use a verb and then some nouns after that to create a function name.
Okay.
Now here I have already told you, okay, I like retrieve the type. If the type is like well, I'm counting okay, whatever you call it. Say I'm counting templates, I'm counting pages, I'm counting blocks, and so on and so forth. So I just like store the result in this results. Okay, this part is the function name. Okay, as a tree count. This part is whatever type you pass in. Okay, it can be block, it can be template, it can be page, it can be anything.
Okay.
And I start counting from 1, okay, and I keep like incrementing it. So you can actually like use this to count assets in your site. Well, let's just try that, okay?
What is,
Any
Wing,
questions?
what is C/capital F?
You mean this?
Yes.
F is a class storing function names. F is function.
Oh, oh, okay.
But you don't have to do this. You can plug this string, okay, as a tree count right here. Okay? Again, as I told you, you set it up any way you want. So let us like try this one, okay? So as a tree count, okay? And I want to count pages, okay? So let us just get rid of everything except result. So this should be null. Second one, I don't care. Third one should be result. And I want to count pages only. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, because it's in global function, so it's already included in the, well, in your authentication. So you don't need to do anything, okay? You just call it. After I'm done, I want to output the result, okay? So you debug, and then I want to dump the, oops. So I'm counting pages, okay, in this folder. 29 of them. Okay. Now, if you want to, okay, you can count, for example, data definition blocks, for example. So if I change this to data block, it will count blocks as well. Okay, so there are 78 of them. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Now, let me just recap, okay, because we are running out of time. We can talk more next time, okay, if you want me to, okay. Because if you really want to, I can like show you, for example, how to like do something simple, okay. We are not prepared for like switching content types and so on just yet, but we can like look at like some details, okay. For example, how to like report orphans, how to like search for something in a page using AssetTree. We can do something like that next time.
Yeah, that sounds pretty powerful also.
Yes. That's why I said, okay, right at the beginning, this is the most powerful feature in my entire library. Because, okay, because of one thing. I provide you with a simple mechanism, and I don't care what you do with it, and you do whatever you want to with it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So back to global functions, okay? So you can count as a tree, so well, count whatever you want to. Actually, you can use this to like do a very like simple, uh, if you want to find out, okay, how many blocks there are in a site or something, you can use this, okay, to count. Display is very simple, okay, just like display everything in the tree. Get access, don't need to worry about that. It's just like return the access. Publish, okay. You can use this to force publishing. If you like have like smart publishing like turned on, you might want to use this to traverse, okay, a folder or entire site to make sure everything is published. Of course, you need to like specify the type, okay. For example, you can force publishing on every page or on every file or whatnot. You decide, okay. And then associate with metadata set. That's what I gave you, okay, as an example a moment ago. Actually, you can like do using this, okay. You can like assign either the same or different metadata sets, okay, to different types of assets, as long as you set it up properly. Okay. Here I require you, okay. You need to like in the param, okay. You need to specify the type because I mean that's a given. You might want to like do something to pages, to something to blogs, something to folders. Of course, you need to specify the type, okay. And then you need to like give me the metadata object, okay. So this is just like one example, and then I'm like going through it quickly, okay. So this is the report orphans, okay. So you can like specify what type of assets you are interested in, pages, blogs, whatnot. This is about asset factory, okay, assigned to which group. So you can like traverse an asset factory container, and it will tell you, okay, this factory is associated with this group, that factory is associated with that group, and so on and so forth. Data definition flag, what is like checked, what is not. That's basically for my own use, but look at the code, okay? I don't remember the details. What metadata set, what metadata are like set with a certain flag. So check which flag is checked, basically. This one is interesting. Eric Espana asked me like how to find out, okay, at the page level, okay, which region is associated with like what block, what format. This is the method you call. So if you plug in like the type of like page, okay, with this function name, then it will traverse the site, visit every page, and if in a page in a certain region there's a block or there's a format attached to the page at the page level, then this will keep a record.
Ooh, I'm gonna try that out.
Yep, try it. So basically, this is just like a whole bunch of like functions you can use or you can model after. Okay, so this is just examples. Okay, remove access. You can delete everything. Okay, using this, for example, search by name. I don't remember what it does. Probably you need to plug in a name and then you return a list of everything like containing the name. I don't remember the details, okay? But these are just examples provided to you so that you can like write your own global functions.
Very
Now,
cool.
well, I would suggest this, okay? If you want to, you can put your global functions in this file. I never update this file, okay? So this file is provided to you just as an example. So every time when you create a new global function, you can put it right here in this file. Then whatever function will be made available in your library, although this is yours.
Right.
Okay. So I'll wrap up everything up to this point. Okay. If we want to, we can like do the second part. Okay. Next time when we meet, I just want you to understand. Okay. When you traverse a tree, okay, when you traverse a container, it can be a container of any type, not just folders. Okay. It can be Asset Factory container. It can be metadata set container, whatever container. And you call the traverse method to visit every child. And then when you visit every child, okay, you need to decide, okay, what do you want to do with each child? You want to like specify, okay, type of children, and then what function or functions to apply to those children. And if you need to pass in parameters, okay, you're like setting metadata set or whatever, then you need to pass it in, okay, into the second parameter, the params, and then you set it up properly. And then the third one is for return values. From this point on, you do whatever you want.
That's cool.
Okay. I know, okay, because of like time issue, okay, I cannot like go into the details. So probably we should like meet again to talk about the details of like how to like do, for example, order report, how to do not quite complicated things, okay? We are not ready for like switching content type yet. But we can do something like searching a certain field. Do we have like precedent there? Do we need to like replace something? We can do something simple.
Mm-hmm. I think the two things that were is like the two biggest paradigm shifts for me with this was just first the fact that you can't just tell Cascade Web Services send me all the templates or send me all the pages. The fact that you have to provide a root node was eye-opening for me. And then with your method, the way that you pass functions through an array was kind of a big paradigm shift for me, as not a not as a very as not a very advanced PHP programmer, just enough to be dangerous.
Yes, you have to be very careful when you use tree traversal, especially when you are editing something. You always start with a small folder so that you can like roll back if something goes wrong. You always want to do that. Don't like start with a site, okay? You may kill the entire site by doing that.
That's good advice.
They have stuff like that in JavaScript now with the promises, they call them, basically chaining your functions and then waiting for each one to complete, or or not complete, and then handling them in that fashion. It's similar to that. I would look at like jQuery promises. They have if you need some kind of guidance as far as how that works, Eric.
Okay.
It'll give you a concept.
Okay, good to know.
Because that's what that array of functions reminds me of a little bit.
Gotcha. So okay, so every time a function. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay, one more thing before I forget. When you use tree traversal, it's not searching. Okay, it is not. Remember, when you search Cascade, there's an upper limit. Okay, for like the return result, you can search for no more than 250 objects. For example, if you're searching for like users, pages, and so on and so forth, you can get a result up to like 250 objects. But tree traversal works differently. It just like take like visit every child in turn. It doesn't like remember what it did in the last moment. So it doesn't keep like a record of like counting, and it doesn't keep anything basically. So you can actually traverse, for example, my Cascade admin site containing like 1,000 pages. I can do that in one traversal without any limitation.
Can you use AssetTree Traversal to search more than 200 or 250
Yes,
objects?
because it does it one at a time.
Oh, okay. So there's like a performance trade-off.
Yes, it will take forever if you like search for like 1,000 pages. Of course, it will take forever, but there's no upper bound. Okay, so you can, because you do one at a time, you can search for an entire site consisting of like thousands of pages. You can.
Okay. Well, that's powerful too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say part one of AssetTree Traversal should end here. If you are interested in like to learn more, we can do a part two.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to schedule that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, one more thing before I forget. You can also use the AssetTree class. There are some minor methods, okay? For example, you can like traverse a site. Well, you can visit a site, not traversing, okay? You can visit a site and output every asset in the site or in the folder with like XML information. So let me just like bring up the API just like to tell you exactly what I meant. So if you like look at the API documentation of AssetTree, AssetTree.
Wait. So,
For example,
wait. Question:
yep,
Is there a site container in Cascade?
site contain. Nope, sites are not contained.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Maybe I
So,
misunderstood. Go ahead.
nope, sites are not contained. So if you like ask about like okay, what assets are not contained? Site, user, group, role. What else? About 5 of them.
Okay.
Okay. Here I have like 2 minor methods. Okay, to list string and to XML. You can actually like well, you need to first okay create an asset tree, but after that you can like call the to list string method and you echo it. It will actually like list all the assets okay in on your page okay as a list.
Wing, are you trying to share something?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I forgot. I forgot. Okay. Okay. Where is my screen? Okay. I forgot that part. Okay. So where's my browser? I'm talking about this method, okay, to list string documented on the asset tree. This method will return you a string containing an unordered list, including everything inside that folder or that container. So you can use this, okay, to list all the assets, okay, in a folder. No big deal, okay. It's just a list. To XML, you can like get the XML listing of all the assets inside the container. You decide whether they are useful, okay? I don't use them at all, but they are provided to you if you want them. Okay, I'll stop here for the day.
Wing, could you scroll to the top of that page?
Sure.
Okay. So is this the same class that contains the
The same
traverse
class.
method?
The same class.
Okay, so this is an alternative to using
That's
this.
why I said I didn't hear you.
Is this were those alternatives to calling the traverse method?
No. They just like give you some information about the folder. That's all.
Okay.
If you find it useful, use it. Otherwise, I mean, don't care. I don't really care about them.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Well, try them. Just like plug in a folder and then call to list string. You have to echo it, okay? So you'll see a list.
Gotcha.
I think I also put the program on GitHub to use that. Let me see. Examples 05. Nope, not really.
Okay. Well, Wing, this has been great.
Yeah.
Well, once you understand how AssetTree works, you can't really live without it. I mean, I use it almost every day to count things, to convert sites, to associate this with that. Remember, whenever you are doing mass edit, for example, or you are doing site-wide search, probably you need to use AssetTree.
Right. Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's either that or
For
using
each
the,
loops.
yeah, a lot of for each loops.
Or my own recursive functions, which get
Yeah,
messy,
you write up your own recursive function. Exactly.
which is great, but it seems this is more, it simplifies that process a lot.
Well, if you are doing something simple, you might just want to write up your function. I mean, this is
No,
like
Traverse is way
comes with
better.
all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if you look, I think a bulk of the code that I'm doing for an image directory is mostly, it's just for each loops. Like there's no logic at all. It's just looping and looping and looping.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it'll be nice to have a function that handles all that in a
Yep.
few lines of code.
Oh, Wing, do you have to set the do you have to init the max rendering time if
Yes.
you want to do something big?
Actually, I believe in all the example code I posted on GitHub, they all have those few lines. Because, well, remember, when you traverse a site, especially when you are like editing pages, for example, it can take up to an hour to run the program.
Right.
Of course, I mean, I always discourage that, okay? You always like deal with a single folder, a small folder, one at a time, okay? So that when something goes wrong, you know like how to like roll it back.
Right.
But even if you are doing like okay, working on a small folder, it can have like 50 pages or something like that. Okay, then you still need to like okay allow enough time for the program to run. It can last up to like 20 minutes or so. So
Sure.
you need those few lines like to make sure it won't quit right in the middle.
Sure.
Also remind me of something next time, okay? Those global functions can be used independently, meaning you can actually apply pages, okay? Well, apply those functions to pages, okay, outside the traverse mechanism.
Oh, really?
Well, the reason being this. Let's say you are working on a folder, okay, but the folder itself, okay, contains no subfolders, but it contains hundreds of pages. So somehow you did that, okay, you have like a lot of pages in a folder and you cannot break it up. Either you traverse the entire folder or you don't. You have no choice. But if you can find a mechanism to say, okay, I only want to do a few pages at a time, I don't want to do the entire folder, I want to do a few pages at a time. Of course, you can like set up an array containing page IDs. But then you need to be able to apply the global function to each page.
Without using the traverse?
Without using the traversal.
Oh, okay. But do you still need
Otherwise,
to
I mean, you're stuck.
but you still that doesn't change the
No.
function signature that's required for.
No. Well, let me pull up the program. I believe there's at least one example on GitHub showing you how to do that, okay? But I want to like bring to your attention, you're not stuck with a folder, okay? You're never. So you don't have to like always like traverse. Let me see. Convert RW. Let's see. Case one. Nope, not this one. Performance WTSS from probably this one. Yeah. Okay. GitHub. Let me share the screen again. Okay, I'm looking at GitHub, and inside PHP Cascade WSNS examples, and under O5, there's a program called from non-responsive to RWD1. And wait, am I clicking? Oh yeah. So I'm looking at this file, okay? O5 AssetTree Traversal from non-responsive to RWD1.
Yep.
The first part shows you how to like apply the function to pages. Well, this part. Oh, it jumps again. So this part.
So
I called it. Yeah, ask your question.
I was just going to ask, you're calling the AssetTree switch page content type method?
Yep. I call that function directly. But remember, I need to plug in the parameters like this. I'm just saying, this is just a function, okay? Of course you can call it.
So, okay. Oh, okay, so the third parameter are the parameters, right?
Okay.
I'll have to look
So
at that.
you can do something like this. So the same function can work both ways. You can use it in a traversal, but you can also like use it alone and apply it to pages, to folders, to whatnot. That's how you get out of like, okay, you don't have to always like traverse a large folder. You can like work with a few pages at a time if you want to.
Right. Right. Okay. I think that's pretty helpful because then you can just kind of create functions of reusable code too.
The same function in both ways, yes.
Yeah.
So that's why I have a switch here. I can like either like do a folder or do a page, depending on like whether I'm dealing with a large folder or a small folder. If it is a small folder, I go ahead and just like do the tree traversal. If it is a large folder containing a lot of pages, then I plug in the page IDs and apply the function to each individual page manually, basically.
Wow. Cool. Very cool.
Okay, I would say that's enough for today, and we can schedule another meeting next time to talk about like tree traversal again, if you guys want to.
Yeah, I think
Sure.
yeah, I'll play around with this a little bit and get familiar.
Yeah, get a feel of it, and then next time it will make more sense if you have at least like tried a few examples.
Right. Okay. And then when's the next hangout then?
I'll be away for until April 15th, so I won't be available until then. So it should be either 1 week or 2 weeks, okay, after I come back from China.
Okay.
Well, next time probably we'll just like dive in and like really like sit down and write some code. And actually you can come up with some ideas, okay, what you want to do. And I can give you suggestions, okay. We might be able to write some code live, but probably I'll just like give you suggestions, okay. If you want to do this, pay attention to this and that, okay, watch out for this trap, things like that. But it's a good idea to like for you to come up with some questions, some ideas. Okay, Wing, I want to do this. How do I proceed?
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool.
What do you think, Eric? Eric Gorka?
Sorry, I was marveling. So I actually created my own tree traversal function for something that I was doing, and it's fascinating to look. Mine was a one-trick pony, only dealing with pages and blocks. So it's fascinating to see the mirroring of your code and my code, that there are similarities. But yours is far more flexible and advanced. So, so yes, I definitely want to see more on this. I was just looking
Then
forward on
you must feel like comfortable with the entire mechanism?
Yes, I mean, it's like I said, it looks very familiar. So, but what I want to do now is look at my functions and rewrite it to use your tree traversal, doing the
Okay.
same sort of process. Because what I needed to do, if anybody's ever had the experience of users copying and pasting from, say, Google Docs or Microsoft Word into a WYSIWYG function, right? There's these hidden spans and font declarations that get added in, and we had this problem where in hundreds of pages of our college catalog, different aspects had these hidden codes, so the fonts were all coming out funky and everything, but it were too many pages to go in one at a time, look at the HTML of each and every data definition or the WYSIWYG field. So we had to just create this thing. It was a little scary because I realized what I was doing could change fundamentally the entire catalog in one submit. But like I said, it was a one-trick pony. So really, I had to focus in on. I focused first in on pages, but then realized that there are aspects. It would be nice to universally be able to say, on this path, traverse a tree. Look at the blocks, look at anywhere where a WYSIWYG field can be contained, which might be a block if it has a data definition associated with it or a page, and then be able essentially to do a search and replace, to look for hidden HTML or whatever. So this is a great little thing, like I said, far more flexible than anything I did. So yeah, definitely look forward to doing some more with this. So let me know what dates work for you. And
Well, I would say either the 3rd or the 4th week of April. Preferably the 4th, because well, I will still be like struggling with like the jet lag and so on and so forth. I mean,
so that would be more like April
April
25th.
let's see, April. Yeah, something like the 25th. Yeah.
25th would work for me.
Well, for the moment, let us just say, okay, put it down for the moment. If something doesn't work out, then we'll like reschedule.
Sure.
Okay, then the 25th.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, I want to invite you to my next hangout, one template, one region. I promise you, okay, that would be fascinating. I promise that.
Yeah, send me the invite.
I think Eric already did.
Yeah, I think I did. I've gotten 2 invites, one for this one and one for that. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think I'm already taken care of.
It would be crowded, okay? Right now there are like 16 people, okay? So
That's
yeah,
all
2
right.
weeks from now there'll be a fight, okay? To get in.
Yeah, I hope they have the bandwidth for all that.
Yeah.
Actually, I set it up. I'll double check to make sure I sent you an invite, Chris. But for those that don't get into the sort of interactive hangout and are forced to watch it on YouTube, I set up, or I will set up a Q&A app so that people can
Ask questions.
ask questions from the YouTube thing and stuff. So
Yeah.
Eric, is your birthday April 29th?
it is, yes.
Somehow that's on my calendar.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see everyone else's birthdays too.
Nice.
Okay. Happy birthday then.
Yeah, that's funny. So, well, thanks, Wing.
Thank you, Wing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, then see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, see you.
Take care.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.